Gremlins, beware. You're in for a scare. Happy Halloween-A-Thon, Gremlins. So this will be the first vlog of Halloween-A-Thon, which is a reading-thon hosted by Kelsey over at Slime and Slashers. And it starts on the first day of fall. I'm waiting. Sorry. I tried to film this clip before. My neighbor's dog went absolutely bonkers. And then my dog started barking because he was barking. And I'm just like waiting for that to happen again. I think we're good. Possibly. So for Slime and Slashers Halloween-A-Thon challenge, it's really very nebulous. There's a board game you can set up. You can do like a bingo. There are prompts that you can choose from or not choose from. You can kind of just do whatever you please. I typically pick one of the prompt sheets because I don't really have the ability to print out a game board. Bingo is fine, but I want to be able to read more books than will fit on the bingo board, or at least like for me. So like picking a prompt sheet helps me kind of figure out how I'm going to like work through a TBR and like make one. I've actually been working on this TBR for a very long time and then just like waiting to see what prompts would fit the books I had, which is basically me just picking books in advance, but I feel like that's totally fine. But this video, sorry, what is happening? It is so loud outside. Yeah, everyone's barking, of course, because I'm trying to film. But like, I feel like I hear a drill, which doesn't make any sense. I'm just gonna keep going. For this first vlog, if you're new here, it's typically this chaotic when I try and film. It's normally loud, something's going on, a dog is barking, a cat is trying to destroy the books I'm holding, things are knocked over, occasionally repair people arrive to do something. Like, it just, the videos are never calm. They're normally very chaotic. So for this first vlog of Halloween-A-Thon, as I talk over my dogs and whatever weird sound is going on outside, I will be focusing on nostalgic reads. So I have been collecting via my library a trip way back in like May to Ohio and a used bookstore day. Just like Goosebumps, Bailey School Kids books, some other just like general nostalgia books. For this entire first vlog, that is what I'm going to be reading. I have this shirt, which I think I'm gonna have two of. So my sister bought me this shirt. This is a very cool Old Navy Goosebumps shirt. She bought me this shirt, and then it was also on sale at our Old Navy, and I decided I wanted two of it because I'm a little worried the print is going to rip. So if I have two, I can like sort of swap them in and out as I see fit. So yes, in this vlog, I will start with all the Goosebumps books. So I thought I would show you the Goosebumps books I'm going to start with because it is my lunch break and I'm going to start reading some of these. I also want to try and get them back to the library so folks who may be looking for these for Halloween can get a hold of them. So this first stack includes a mix of library books and 2 owned books. So we have The Haunted Mask. This fits some prompt. I don't remember which one. Then, oh, Gesundheit. That was Bane. I'm sorry you're sneezy. Then A Shocker on Shock Street. Does not want to focus on the books. Then, to match my shirt, I know this is for Pumpkin on the cover. I know I'm holding them funny, sorry. Attack of the Jack-O-Lanterns, which again, matches my shirt. I'm gonna take a photo with that specifically. Then Goosebumps Slappy World, my friend Slappy. This was for Fear because I do not like ventriloquist dummies. So I picked this one. And then R.L. Stine's Ghosts of Fear Street, Who's Been Sleeping in My Grave. And I don't remember what prompt this one is for. But I'm gonna work on reading these. I own these two. I got these actually at the library sale, possibly? Yeah, because they don't have any other thing on them. So these were actually from my library sale. They do like a sale all the time where you can just get random books. I'm gonna take a sip of my very green soda. This is Beetlejuice apple soda. The slime green seemed very fitting. But yeah, so I own 2 of those. The others are from the library, but I do kind of want to get to the library ones. I'm debating if I'm going to like redonate to my library these 2 books because I think I paid $0.25 for them. So I may do that because I'm taking some books for their donation bin today because it is the last day of their summer readathon and you need to drop off all your stuff on the first day of fall, and I have 2 slips I need to turn in with my like reading hours. So yeah, that is going to be the vlog. So Goosebumps will be first. I'll probably recap a bunch of them all back to back. I am gonna try and watch some Goosebumps, like the old TV show, if I can figure out where it is, like play it in the background. I did kind of like the newer one, but the newish season that I didn't watch is set in the summer and is inspired by like Stay Out of the Basement, and I don't know that I'm in the mood for that. So I think I'm just gonna like track down the other one. Oh my gosh, dogs are going bananas next door at something. So I'm gonna go, mostly so I can also start reading. So be ready for a Goosebumps update for this first vlog of Halloween-A-Thon, and get ready for just so much chaos. Truly so much chaos, because the opening of this feels as though it will just be chaos all around, all the time. But yeah, so I will see you later, gremlins, when I have a Goosebumps update. Hello. All right, so this is still the beginning of my lunch break, but I just realized I should tell you to watch Gavin Reads It All's Goosebumps vlogs. So he has a whole bunch, and I have watched all of them, some of them more than once. And I highly recommend. I actually might put these on while I'm reading, just because I think Gavin is a very fun creator, and these are very cool. I really enjoy all of his videos, so I'm definitely gonna toss the first one on, just as kind of background noise, because I am very sure I've at least watched it 3 times in the past. It's just like, they're long, they're fun, and you get his thoughts on Goosebumps. So I think I'm gonna start that one and then just like leave it on for the rest of my lunch so I can read with some themed background noise. Again, I do want to watch the show, but I need to track it down because I can't remember where it is. So this seems like it'll be a fun time. So yeah, gonna read more. I did start The Haunted Mask, and I'm like almost done with it, but I'm not gonna recap you on these one at a time. It's gonna be in like a group kind of setup. But anyway, gotta go. Gonna pop on Gavin's very first Goosebumps vlog. Hello, gremlins. So it's the end of my workday, and I did finish some Goosebumps books during my lunch. I am definitely taking the 2 in this stack back to the library because one of them I think is giving me a mild allergic reaction. I'll explain in a sec. So the books I read during lunch were The Haunted Mask, A Shocker on Shock Street, and Attack of the Jack-o'-lanterns. This is the one that's causing me problems. Okay, so The Haunted Mask follows Carly Beth, who keeps being pranked by these 2 absolute jerks. FYI, this is going to be spoilery because these are pretty old and they're kids' books, so there's not a lot for me to talk about. But she really wants to scare them, and it's Halloween, so she winds up finding this super scary mask at a costume shop, and she convinces the shopkeeper to sell it to her, even though he's like, I can't sell that, it's not for sale, please don't buy it, like, you can't have it. She gets it, and then what happens is she starts behaving very strangely when the mask is on, and then at a certain point she can't get the mask off, and her friend's even like I can't find the line for the mask, so I don't know what's going on. And then she's like trapped in the mask. Maybe I won't spoil everything, so not full spoilers, but like she's then trapped in the mask and has to figure out how to get this mask off. So she fortunately, I mean, she does get to scare the guys that she absolutely hates, who literally like tried to get her to eat a worm. Like, these are bad dudes. Like, they're not nice kids in any way. So she does really scare them, which I appreciated, but she kind of like is being tormented by this mask. Now, thankfully, things go well for Carly Beth. But there's a little bit of a like twisty ending where someone puts the mask on and oh, will it come off? But this one is good. I think this is like the epitome of a Goosebumps book. Like, if someone's like, oh, Goosebumps, I feel like they'll think of this book in particular, because I feel like it just has like a very like well-known story. I also very much remember the TV show, which I think is 2 episodes on the original, and it's creepy. Like, it gets very creepy. Now, this one is mine. So A Shocker on Shock Street was wild. We're following Erin and her friend Marty, and her dad he creates stuff, and he winds up taking them to this tour at Shock Street Studios, and things get horrifying. There are giant bugs, there are monsters, and like they both think they're in absolute danger throughout. And then Marty does some crappy stuff where he's like trying to get Erin to freak out, even though they're already in like a horrible situation where they're both freaking the freak out. And like he keeps doing gotchas, which drove me nuts. But like this has a very cool twist involving the dad and who Erin and Marty actually are, because we just know the like earlier in the book she says like, is it mom coming? And he's like, your mom? Like, question mark? What are you talking about? And like, this is creepy. I actually really enjoyed this one. And funnily enough, as soon as I finished it, Gavin was talking about this one, and he also really enjoyed that one. Then this one, Attack of the Jack-o'-lanterns. I am just gonna like awkwardly hold it and then put it down. This is so water damaged, and I have a horrible allergy to mold. And sometimes what happens is I will get a water damaged book from a library, and then it causes my allergies to go wild. Like, just feel kind of itchy. So in this one, it follows Drew, who has had the past 2 Halloweens Drew has had have been absolutely horrible. And he wants revenge. Oh, and Walker. He wants revenge against these 2 bullies. Are there names on here? Yeah, Lee and Tabby. And they did a horrible prank 2 years ago. And then the second year they couldn't get their like comeuppance. So this time they're trying really hard to like get them, prank them real bad. And like the actual prank that they did 2 years ago is horrifying. And I don't see how charges were not pressed by parents because it was evil. The ones that the bullies did. Then in this one, oh gosh, I'm gonna cough. Hold on one sec. Okay, I'm back. I did have to cough. So they're trying to get Lee and Tabby to like they just want to epically prank them. Now, oddly enough, on the back, there are 2 other friends of Drew and Walker's who are Shayna and Shane, and they're twins. They also are like trying to plan this prank with them and are supposed to be like doing something to scare them. The story itself then gets like bizarre. Like it is creepy because it's like jack-o'-lantern headed things show up and start forcing them to trick-or-treat continuously. And then they take them to this area where like we trick-or-treat, we like keep trick-or-treating, and then you have to like eat all this candy. And it does get creepy, but then like the explanation of the jack-o'-lanterns is bizarre and also teases like a very weird thing about like there's like missing adults who they very explicitly are like, oh, they're fat adults. And I'm like, what? So like this one was weirdly like the most like bizarre to me because not only was like it very creepy, and I just kind of wish like the explanation for this had not been what it was. But beyond that, there's also this like weird thing that gets mentioned where they're specifically like fat adults like are missing. And I'm just like, why? Why is that the choice here? And like, again, Gavin covers this better in his videos where it's like a discussion of how these books do include a lot of comments on like body shape. I didn't mind it as much in some of them because it was kind of just saying people were chubby, which like they're also kids, so I guess maybe the idea is we're supposed to picture like someone who has a little bit of like baby fat on them, like to get an idea of them, which is still not great, but okay. Like I'll grant you calling someone chubby in just a definitive explanation of themselves, fine, I will give that to you. But like this very weird like 4 fat adults are missing, and I was like, excuse you? What? Like I was like, that is bizarre and unnecessary. Like I was like, I don't understand. Like they like make it a thing at the end, they like explain it, and I'm like, I still don't understand like why it was important that you say that they're fat. Like why? Okay. It was just strange. I also don't think this ever got made into an episode because I think it would be too difficult. This one and the A Shock on Shock Street, I don't think those were ever episodes because I think it would be too difficult. Like, I don't think they had the technology. Actually, probably more they didn't have the funds because that show, I feel like, was more like practical effects and like slightly lower budget. I just don't think they would do it. But it's weird to me that I don't think they appear in the movies either. Like the newer ones where they use a lot of like CGI and stuff and totally could. But yeah, I was enjoying like Shocker. I enjoyed The Haunted Mask and A Shock on Shock Street the most. Attack of the Jack-o'-lanterns like let me down in that I was just kind of like, this is really creepy, and then I did not like the ending really, and I was like, what is then those are 2 of these are going back to the library. That one is definitely going back. I need to get the water damage book out of my house. There's actually a slip in it from the library that says it's incredibly water damaged that they put in so that I won't get in trouble. But like it's making me itchy and I don't want it in my home. So I'm taking that to the library with some other returns as well as a bag of donation books. They're on my floor. But yeah, so we're actually headed out. I just wanted to fill you in on those. The next 2 books I'm going to read are My Friend Slappy, which I read a teeny bit of just to get an idea, and then this one, which I own, the Ghost of Fear Street book, which is pretty short, so I don't think either of these is going to take me very long. And then I can maybe start on some other stuff. There is football tonight, so I'll probably read a little bit, like while the game's on, but yeah, I think that's it for now. I just feel itchy. just very itchy. So I need to get this book away from me. I'm gonna put it in a bag, and then I'm just gonna attach it to put it in the Dropbox, and then that's it. I'm not gonna touch it anymore. But yeah, so it is always interesting to me to read these because I watched the show, but I never actually read the books growing up. I never did. And I watched the show when I was older. Because I remember it being on TV and I watched a little bit of it, but I actually watched a bunch of them when I worked at a video store in, like, I was out of college, and they had the DVDs, and I would just sometimes, like, take them home because I could get them for, like, free, and watch them and bring them back. So I watched a lot of those. But yes, so I gotta go. I gotta get this stuff to the library. Maybe put some lotion on or something so I feel less itchy. And I will talk to you sometime tonight, Gremlins, when I have finished more books by Mr. R.L. Stein. Talk to you later, Gremlins. Hello, Gremlins. Did I think this through and grab my books in advance? No, I did not. It is halftime of the Ravens-Lions game, and I have finished Slappy World, My Friend Slappy, and also R.L. Stein's Ghosts of Fear Street, Who's Been Sleeping in My Grave. This title is bizarrely long. So I did finish these while we were watching the game. So in this one, this is actually really creepy. My hair is doing a weird thing. Hold on, let's floof that. It's still not any better. It's just doing whatever it wants. Slappy uses his powers a ton. So Barton is gifted Slappy by his father because Barton collects puppets. And Barton is picked on a lot by two boys. Sorry. They're not listed on the back. One of them is named Kelly, is all I remember. But they're two very, very crappy bullies who literally during a tour of Barton's father's taffy company, they push him into a vat of hot chocolate taffy. Yeah. And then he's covered in blisters because he's allergic to chocolate. But we do meet his best friend Lizzie, and this is very creepy because they ultimately say the words that bring Slappy to life, and Slappy's like, ooh, I'm gonna make you my servant forever. And Barton's like, oh, we should be friends, which is clever. But things go very, very poorly from there because Slappy is a monster. And this is very creepy and also reiterates my fear of ventriloquist dummies. I would say if you want a creepy ventriloquist thing, there are episodes of The Twilight Zone. The dummy, specifically, is the one that has given me nightmares for life, where a man has a dummy that also kills his other dummy to become his primary dummy, and then a horrible, horrible thing happens. But this was creepy because Slappy is using his otherworldly powers. Very akin to the, like, series where Slappy is Key, the first season of the Goosebumps series, the newer one. This one was creepy, I would grant, very creepy, so did enjoy. There are some like, I imagined that, or I didn't do that, but that it was the thing I thought of. I'm like, that happened a bit, but that happens in everything written by R.L. Stein, admittedly. Then we have this one of the long title. We're just gonna call it Who's Been Sleeping in My Grave. This actually is very creepy. So our main character, Zach, has a substitute teacher named, is she even named on the back? She's not even named. Why would we name her? Oh my gosh. Okay, hold on. It's Mrs. Gaunt. She is a substitute teacher and she's very, very creepy, all in white, very gaunt. He and his best friend wind up in her grave, and he's like, she's obviously a ghost. She's a ghost. And it gets so actually creepy where like she's going to turn him into a ghost on Halloween night. So a lot of this is set on Halloween. There's a Halloween party, but she's trying to turn him into a ghost. And it's so bizarre. Like I was like, oh my gosh. And there's actual like creepy, shady side Fear Street magic in this. So truly creepy. Like if I read this as a kid, I'd be creeped out. But both of these were fun and creepy enough. So this one is mine. I'll be keeping it. I bought this at a book sale. And then this one will go back to the library when I take some other stuff back. So the next set of books for this vlog, oh, they're all the way over here. Hold on, hold on. Ah! Sorry. I know, I was not prepared. Are the Bailey School Kids books. So the next books I'll be reading are Aliens Don't Wear Braces, Skeletons Don't Play Tuba, and Dragons Don't Cook Pizza. And I know for a fact I picked these for a reason, so at some point tomorrow I'll go through the prompts I had picked out and I'll cross off everything, because I did write the books down next to their respective prompt. So we will go through that and then we'll go from there. So I will talk to you tomorrow morning, gremlins, because even if I read stuff tonight, I will talk to you when I have had coffee. So see you in the morning, my dear gremlins. Michael Rennie was ill the day the earth stood still. He told us where we stand, and Flash Gordon was there in silver underwear. Claude Rains was the invisible man. Good morning, gremlins. It is a gray and rainy day, which I'm a fan of. It is brighter in my office because all of my work stuff is set up. Light is on, but it is nice and gloomy outside, and I kind of wish I didn't have this light on, but I feel like I'm gonna need it. Work has not started yet. I just, again, like being set up before I do my little clip to start the day, because then I don't have to scramble to like make sure everything's good to go. I'm drinking my coffee out of this Black Cat Magic super reflective mug. I think it's from Home Goods. I don't know. I just randomly have it and I really like it. I'm also wearing a Beetlejuice shirt because I wanted to wear long sleeves, and this is sort of long sleeves. I don't know that it's cold enough yet. It was cooler and like the temperature's just been so weird. But we are here because I have books to talk to you about. Also, I may or may not have makeup in some clips because my eyeliner died. There's a tiny bit left in it and I tried to get more and the store was out of my eyeliner. Like none. Absolutely none. So, meh. But we are here to talk about the Bailey School Kids. So I finished all 3 of these during the games. Well, the game. They're not super long, so I'm not surprised. So let's just go through these in order. So in Aliens Don't Wear Braces, we have the new art teacher who shows up. Her name is it Zork? Mrs. Zork? Yes. So Mrs. Zork shows up and she is like very white, very pale, and she has braces. So Eddie is the first one to meet her. So in these books, we always follow Eddie, Howie, Liza. Is it Liza and Melody? I think it's Liza and Melody. Yes, am I correct? I believe I'm correct. It's mostly Melody's name that I'm like, yes, yep, it's Melody, yep. So Eddie is like the troublemaker of the group, and he winds up going to the principal's office where he sees Mrs. Zork for the first time. And then she is going to be their art teacher, even though they already have an art teacher. He's just not there. And like, no one knows where he is. So she's going to be their new art teacher. But what's strange is it seems like anytime she touches something or comes in contact with something, she kind of gets more color to her. And they all kind of notice it. At a certain point, Eddie has super red hair. Liza or Melody, I forget which one. I was like, your hair is fading. She's taking your hair, like the color of your hair. So this whole thing is that they think she's an alien that steals color. And the thing that like really gets them to think that, sorry, my nose suddenly itched, is that she touches Mrs. Jeepers' magical brooch. And all of a sudden, Mrs. Jeepers does not seem okay. And if you don't know the series, Mrs. Jeepers is their teacher who they're very sure is a vampire. And she wears this glowing green brooch that like they think can control people. And she suddenly has to leave. And so they go on a mission to stop Mrs. Zork. And as this is a Bailey School Kid book, they of course do, but I'm not going to tell you how because it is wild. It involves breaking and entering slightly, which was a touch confounding, but it was very fun. They're very dedicated to ensuring that everyone is okay. And then once all of that happens, of course, everyone returns back to normal. So that was Aliens Don't Wear Braces. I don't think I ever read that one. I'm not like a big Aliens reader, so I don't think I would have gravitated toward that one. The next one is Skeletons Don't Play Tuba. And in this one, the Mr. Belgrave, yes. So they are like at the cemetery, near the cemetery, and they see this like very bony looking person and freak out. And then when they get to school, that person is there and it's Mr. Belgrave, who's going to be their new music teacher. They've never had a music teacher before. So he's there and they keep hearing tuba music, and when they go, he's like, oh no, I don't know how to play the tuba. And he has the tuba like set up around a skeleton that he says is named Claude. So now they all think that Claude is playing the tuba. So in this, it's funny because Mr. Belgrave is like very skeletal looking, but the actual concern is Claude the skeleton, who is like near the tuba. So I was like, oh, this one is funny because it's normally the actual teacher, but in this case, it's this guy right here who gets some like really creepy art where he's like looming over them. So they keep thinking that Claude is playing the tuba. So they even like break into the school at night to like try and stop him, figure out how to get rid of him. And they run into the principal. And it's so odd because the principal's like, what are you doing here? And they're like, oh, we forgot our spelling books. He's like, oh, you should go home, go to bed. And I was like, this is so just like casually like, they broke in, it's fine. But this one, they are learning music, and when they play badly, Mr. Belgrave even says like Claude could play better. But this one is just, it's cute. All of these are very cute, but this one, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so fun because like, it's not the teacher this time. It's this guy in the room. And then they do learn, this one is more they like learn who actually is playing the tuba, and then we learn why Claude is there. So this, very fun. I think they were, yeah, they were by a cemetery, I think. But that one, also fun, and had band class in it, so I was in band for a very long time, so it was very like nostalgic. This one, I also never read. So this is Dragons Don't Cook Pizza. And they go to, so the kids they won like a reading party, like the Mrs. Jeepers' entire class. And so they go to Jewel's Pizza Castle, which looks like an actual castle. And they have a waiter named George who like owns the place. And he keeps saying like, he keeps talking about his cook. And the cook is in a bad mood. But like the room where the cook is like noisy and they keep hearing strange sounds. And Howie is like, it's a dragon. A dragon is making the pizza. And Eddie and Liza and Melody are like, what? So he determines that it's a dragon, that George is St. George, and that the dragon is being trapped there and forced to make pizza, and like isn't living its best dragon life. So we go on a mission to like rescue the dragon in this case and like make it so he has a better life. And it actually like probably happens. It was just like so sweet that they were just like, Howie's like, we gotta help the dragon. Like, they weren't scared of the dragon. They just wanted to help the dragon. And so this was just cute. Also made me think of Book It, because like they got to go because they read a bunch of books, and so it felt very like going to Pizza Hut after you finished your Book It goals. And I take another sip of coffee. So, oh, I did say I would tell you what prompts those all fit. One sec. I think actually I'm gonna tell you the next book, and then after this book we will go over prompts. So this book I bought at my library for $1.25. It is 3 spine-tingling tales for young readers. Fright Time, Horror Hotel, It's Really Me, and Creep County. So this was a series. I have never heard of this series in my life, but the art was very creepy. And I was just like, oh, that looks fun. Like, I was just like, oh, it's in the sale bin. It was apparently once $7.95 in the US. But yeah, I got it for $0.25. So I am gonna read this probably during my lunch, and then I will fill you in. I have 3 other nostalgic books, some of which are very short, planned. I may throw in just like another random book into this to make the video a little longer, but I'll, during work, probably play some Goosebumps or something, just so like I'm in the nostalgia zone. I am very curious about this. The art is so creepy, and I think this one has to do with horror hotel, or hotel horror, I believe. I think. Oh, and then one of them is a Halloween story. I'll recap them for you once I've actually read the book. And then once I've read that one, I will go over what prompts everything has fit so far. I don't want to do it at the end of the... I could do it at the end, but I think I'm going to do it a little earlier so I can cross some of them off. Just so, like, I know how many books I've read so far. But that is it for now. I will talk to you later, Gremlins, when I have finished Fright Time, which will be during my lunch. But yes, also, if you figured out what song I was singing while I was making coffee, feel free to drop that in the comments. We're playing a slight game of Name That Tune because the song was stuck in my head, so I sang it. But I'll talk to you later, Gremlins, when I have finished Break Time. Y'all, remember how I said I did not think they did an Attack of the Jack-O'-Lanterns episode? It is right there. I did not realize I had not watched... like, I've watched a bunch of these because I watched them on Netflix last year. Maybe I only watched season 1 completely last year because I know I watched a whole season, but like, it's right there. So I feel obligated that this be the one that I watch because I recognize a bunch of these. Also, I'm on Tubi. That's where this is, and also some other stuff I think is on here. Ooh! Oh, we're just gonna play! Oh, that was unplanned. Let's go back. Just decided. Alright, well then, if you're gonna just decide, let's do this one. Alright, gonna have this on as background. I will let you know how I feel about it. Alright, talk to you later. Hello, Gremlins. So I don't have a book update for you. It is right at the start of my lunch, but I learned wild things. Not only does Attack of the Jack-O-Lanterns have an episode of Goosebumps, but so does The Shock on Shock Street. Or The Shocker on Shock Street. Yeah. I will say both are very different. But I was able to put them on. I was like, it can't exist. I will explain how The Shocker on Shock Street exists. I'm not watching The Mask because I have actually seen the Haunted Mask episode before. I could dig around and see if they have other ones. I know I have seen a number of episodes, but I feel like maybe Netflix got some weird, like, condensed version. I don't know what happened, but like Tubi has all 4 seasons in seemingly a correct order. And I have not watched all of them, for sure. I'm not going to watch all of them in this video, but like, I am surprised because I thought I'd seen more of them than I have. But in the Attack of the Jack-O-Lanterns one, I think we change Drew to a girl, though maybe I just like didn't realize what gender Drew was. Not that it really matters, it's a gender ambiguous name, so you could be anything. But in it, they do change the timeline a bit, so instead of it being like 2 Halloweens ago that they're trying to get kind of revenge on the bullies for, it's actually the past Halloween, and it was Drew's Halloween party. In the other one, it was someone else's Halloween party, but Drew and Walker were like upset on that person's behalf. So in this one, it is specifically that they did something horrible at Drew's party. We don't see it. We do get the dream sequence of them being like trapped in a house where these like elderly people want to see their costumes forever. And we do get the pumpkin-headed people. Though what's interesting is we get the 2 pumpkin-headed people, and then the people they're trick-or-treating from in this like mysterious neighborhood, they like will suddenly have a pumpkin head when the kids walk away. Now they did pull out the kind of gross, and I'm sure they just didn't want the actors to be uncomfortable, the scene where like they have to eat all the candy and then keep trick-or-treating. They didn't do that. They just like had the jack-o'-lantern headed things like pour the candy on the street and be like, go trick-or-treat more. But in this one, what's interesting is besides changing the timeline, they also have that Shane and Shauna moved away, and then in the like surprise twist reveal, Drew and Walker in this one actually don't think at first the pumpkin-headed people are Shane and Shauna, and then they actually aren't sure because the pumpkin-headed people are being very evil. So then they're like, oh, maybe it's not. Maybe we actually have been kidnapped. So that kind of fits the like, they actually think they are in danger possibly. But then the reveal at the end, I was like, wait a minute. Drew knew stuff? Like, that, like, knew something about Shane and Shauna. And, like, they also, I do appreciate this, they did not say the missing people were fat. At the end, someone says plump adults, but it's phrased in a word because they're aliens who eat people. And so, like, them calling them plump, I'm like, okay, I will grant it, you're eating them. I got it. But, like, it was solid. I didn't really like the dream sequence, but it was fine. The Shocker on Shock Street is similar in that they are on a tram tour, and we do get the reveal with 2 people not being what you think they are, but there's like a revenge twist right at the very end. And then the monsters are completely different. There are primarily people-shaped monsters, and they do what Goosebumps does a lot, where like the mask is very incredible and it is believable as a monster, but then the person is just kind of draped in like cloth, so like they don't have to bring it all the way down into a full bodysuit, which is a smart move. But a lot of the monsters are like that. So there's no like giant praying mantises, no like creepy bugs. Like they take a lot of the really creepy like scary parts out and just use actors instead. They also have that her dad is like a big deal like creator completely for them, and not that he just like is an engineer of like trams and stuff. He like makes masks and does all this stuff, and in the book it seemed more like he does like electrical engineering and doesn't really like make creature masks or creature design, but I may be forgetting that. But it was interesting because I did not think those 2 episodes existed. Like I just didn't. But it was fun to watch them now that I've read the books. I may watch some other like Goosebumps episodes off and on. Probably not today, but just in general, knowing that Tubi has all of them. So that was fun to know. I do not have an update. I will have an update on the book for you later. I'm currently drinking another very green soda because I was thirsty and I could not find anything. Yes, it is in a stemless wine glass, and it's only in that because that was in the dish drainer dryer thing. And I was like, oh, sure. And I just grabbed it and poured the soda in it. I didn't want to drink it out of the can because sometimes, I've had those since last year. But there's sometimes like cat hair and stuff on them, so I kind of wipe them down and then I try and like pour them out of the can. But that is the update for now. I will work on reading Fright Time number 11 during lunch, and then I'll update you. But I wanted to tell you about those episodes while they were still kind of fresh in my mind. It was an interesting time to see how they got adapted. And I know things change like in the adaptations because they can only do so much. And that's why I was like, oh, I don't see how they could have done this one. And it's because they didn't do most of the stuff that happens on Shock Street. But I gotta go. I will talk to you probably at the end of the day at this point. Today, Krista does have court. I am cooking kind of a fancy-ish dinner, so I'll probably show you that, but I have to like take out the dogs and do stuff after work. So I may update you before that. I may update you after that. I don't know. But I will talk to you later about Fright Time, Gremlins. Hello, Gremlins. It has been one of those days. I am exhausted. Also, just had Gavin reading Goosebumps books on in the background, which was very nice. A lovely, just chill background. I am here because it's the end of the day. And I have finished, I did during lunch finish Fright Time. So this is 3 stories. I already like told you that part. So I'll recap these 3 stories. I think I'm going to show you the 2 books I hope to read tonight. And then I'm going to save one for tomorrow that I can kind of read sort of slowly. Oh, sorry. Like so out of it. It's just been a day. It's been a day. I enjoy my job. Just like some days are like very hectic. Or like they feel hectic to me. It's fine. I do really enjoy my job. Just made me very tired. So in this we have the Hotel Horror, It's Really Me, and Creep County. So in Hotel Horror we're following Kurt, who's at his great uncle's new, in quotes, hotel. So his uncle is like renovating a hotel in, is it like, oh, where is it? Oh gosh, it's a sandy area. All I remember is it's like very beachy and nice. Florida Keys. So he's renovating this hotel, and it turns out that it used to belong to a seaman, like a man of the sea. Told you my brain is really tired. A guy who had a boat long ago and a crew. Not a pirate, but does some piratey things. So it used to be his. When he died, the hotel like was passed around a lot. Like a lot of different people have tried to renovate it. It hasn't really stuck. And then we learned that perhaps it's haunted. So as we are learning about that, there is like a ghost dog that appears. But the ghost dog doesn't seem malicious. It's just like a ghost dog. But as we're following Kurt, he is also made friends with Teresa, who is working at the hotel as well. She's in 8th grade and her family lives around there, and like it's kind of just a summer job. So she, like the 2 of them are trying to figure out what's going on with the hotel, and like they want to make sure it's okay for his uncle because it may be cursed. And then we learn that, oh gosh, yes. So we actually learned that there is someone else who died at sea and is very upset with our former owner. Oh my gosh, what was the guy's name? Captain Spears. So Captain Spears is the one who previously owned the inn, and he did something while at sea to anger someone who had already died. And so that person's spirit is like haunting him, or was haunting him, and is now haunting the hotel. And it's tied into actions that Captain Spears took. And Kurt and Teresa actually do find out like what it is and how to save the day. And it is like a fun, these feel very Goosebumps. Though, and that one feels like the most like, it's a more like morality kind of story, like be a good person and your life won't suck. Then the second story, It's Really Me, is actually very creepy. So Michael and his dad, I told you I'm tired. Michael really wants to do like special effects stuff and is really into Halloween, and his dad is actually a special effects artist. So he does like makeup for movies and stuff like that. And this year is the first year that Michael wants to do his Halloween costume himself. His dad always makes him like very cool, creepy costumes. The last year he was like a melted man. and he wants to make a costume this year. But what's strange is when he's getting wood for their fire, he feels like a log bit him, and then he starts going through this horrifying transformation where he thinks he's turning into a tree. But because it's almost Halloween, no one believes him, even though he looks frightening. And he's like, it's because it's Halloween, it's because it's Halloween, no one is believing me. And this one does get like very stressful, very sad, and like you do start to really, really worry for Michael. But again, think of these like Goosebumps stories, so there will be some kind of positive ending in them. And this one also does have a little bit of like moral to the story. Also, a touch of this is The Boy Who Cried Wolf, because he does constantly do kind of like gross out stuff or creep out stuff. And so his mom's kind of like, like brushing him off continuously, especially because he said he was going to make his own costume this year. Now, the final one, Creep County, follows Luke and Todd, who are visiting Luke's grandfather. Though that I feel like got slightly confusing to me, because I feel like we like bounced back and forth between points of view, and I sometimes thought we were at Luke's grandfather's farm, but that's probably my own fault. I was just kind of like, wait, whose grandpa is this again? So they're both at this farm, but the grandpa's acting very strange. He was widowed the last year, so they think maybe it's just grief, but there's this like weird albino seeming family in the house, and they're creepy. The woman can't cook, the husband is mean, their children are terrifying, and they have a big scary dog. Also the animals have been acting strangely, and like they're not really sure what's going on, but they do realize that something is definitely off with them, and they're trying to figure out like how to survive the house with these people, and then also like how to stop them, how to get the grandpa back to normal, because they're like, I don't think it's just him being sad about grandma, like something is very wrong. And it ends again very Goosebumps-esque, but this one did get kind of scary because these kids could genuinely have died. So I was like, oh my gosh, but yeah, it was an enjoyable like short story collection. I approve. Again, got this for a quarter at the library. So the next two books that I'm hoping to finish tonight are Bunnicula Strikes Again, also a quarter from the library sale. Have I read actual Bunnicula? No. Was this a quarter and I bought it anyway? Yes. So I have this one, and then I have, this is why I picked this shirt today, Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice for President by BJ Spector. I did not know Beetlejuice the animated series had books. Had no idea. So I was at a half price bookstore months ago and obviously had to get it because duh. But I'm terrified to take the sticker off because I think it's going to rip the cover. So I'm just leaving it on. that's what I'm doing. But yes, so that's the plan. It also feels like no one read this. Like the spine is pristine. So I'm very excited to read this. So those are two I'm planning on reading tonight, and I'll either fill you in tonight or tomorrow morning. I don't know. Maybe while I'm cooking, because I have to be in the kitchen to monitor the food I'm making. And I am going to show you that after I get it prepped and in the oven, I think. But yeah, I think that's the plan. Sorry, my brain is soup. But I gotta go. I gotta take out the dogs. I just wanted to fill you in on book stuff. I will show you what prompts like check off certain things, but I have decided, even though I said I didn't want to save it till the end of the video, I'm gonna save it till close to the end of the video so I can show you, just because it's gonna be easier to set up my notebook when I have like, I can do it over a lunch break or something. And I don't particularly want to hang out in my office tonight to show you. So I will show you before the video ends what prompts all of these books cover. And again, I may add in another book. I haven't decided yet, but we shall see. I gotta go though. I will talk to you later tonight, Gremlins, when I'm making dinner. Behold, Gremlins dinner. So it is brie, cranberry sauce from a can, and a bunch of crescent rolls. This is the first time I've made it like this, so I'm hoping it's actually good. I think we're good. These feel pretty solid. I think it'll be okay. I'm letting it cool a little so I can cut it. Normally I wrap the whole thing, but that's normally really hard to cut. So I just thought I would try it this way. I'm currently watching the Scarecrow Walks at Midnight, which is the episode that tried to play on its own earlier. And I've been reading a little bit of Bunnicula Strikes Again. Krista got home after I did a bunch of like chore stuff around the house, so I didn't really get a ton of time to read, which is totally fine. This and the Beetlejuice book are pretty short. I was gonna watch the animated Beetlejuice, but it's not on Tubi anymore. So Goosebumps it is. But I'm gonna read a little, wait for this to cool, and I will talk to you later, Gremlins. Good morning, Gremlins. I have not even made coffee yet, but I wanted to fill you in on the two books I read yesterday, because I did it. I read the two that I was planning to read. So I read Bunnicula Strikes Again, which I appreciated all the references they made to the first Bunnicula, because I have never read a single Bunnicula book. But what I didn't know, and what is so cute about this, is the dog is the author. So like, there's an author's name on the front, but the actual writer of the book is Harold, the dog. And so we're following Harold, Howie, and Chester. Harold is a big floofy dog. Howie is a little chihuahua or a dachshund thing. And Chester is a cat. And Chester hates Bunnicula. And there are so many Sherlock Holmes references in this because Chester's like, I'm gonna like end him. Like he just wants to like finish Bunnicula because he thinks Bunnicula is a danger, but like Bunnicula's been acting very sick. And then they think that maybe Bunnicula misses his mom because there was like a Mother's Day phone call. And then there is like danger. The dogs are getting out, the cat's getting out, people are running all over, there's a demolition, they could die. Like I was like, oh my gosh. But like some of this is just like very sweet. The ending is truly adorable, but I didn't know this was the point of view of the dog, so that was cute. Also, I know there was a like animated series about Bunnicula, and I tried to find it, but it could be on YouTube. I couldn't find it on anything like specific, so I didn't dig any deeper, but I just like, this was so cute. Talking animals, very ill vampire rabbit. But yeah, so, and I found out why his name is Bunnicula, and it's actually very clever. So yes, finished this one, and then I finished Beetlejuice for President, which, oh my gosh, this was like watching an episode of Beetlejuice. Like, this was so like perfectly written. What's funny to me is so like Lydia's outfits in this are drawn, she's not wearing the spiderweb thing. She's always wearing like black or like a dress, and they don't draw her spiderweb thing, which maybe is too difficult because there are a ton of illustrations in here, and she's like in the corner. So like she's in this one in the corner, and like she does dress like that in the show. I just think it's funny we never see her spiderweb outfit in this at all. But Beetlejuice is running for president and decides that he'll just say whatever he wants to be president, and he doesn't have to actually support any of his claims. That's the face I'm making should indicate my thoughts. But it is very Beetlejuice of him. Lydia is like, you really can't do that, you know, and is trying to like teach him how to be a better like politician, person, possible president. He was running unopposed because he just decided to run for president of the Netherworld, and someone does run against him, and he's like, what? And then on top of that, in Pleasant Pines, in like the human world, Lydia's mom and dad are involved in a like city council election. Delia wants Charles to run for like member, and everyone's like, and like you can tell that everyone's like, why isn't Delia just running? Because Charles doesn't really care. But this was exactly like watching one of the animated episodes, and I did already tell you it's not on Tubi anymore, but I own it on DVD, so if I want to watch the show I can. I just have to watch it on a DVD player. But I loved this show growing up. I was obsessed with this, and please know I saw this before the movie, so I actually thought Lydia and Beetlejuice were friends, and then I saw the Tim Burton movie and I was like, what? Like, I was so confused when I saw it because I was like, aren't they friends? So that's in part why I like the musical more. Like, animated is up here, then like musical, and then Beetlejuice movies by Tim Burton, because in the musical there is a section where Lydia and Beetlejuice are friends, and I was like, yes, they did it, they're doing the thing. So this was adorable, and I'm so glad I saw this, although no one has ever read this. The spine is not broken. I had to read it like this, like barely opened, because no one has ever read this book. So I'm glad I have it, and I'm glad I was able to read it. Now I'm gonna go make coffee, and I'm gonna hint what the book is that I'm reading next. You should already know because I think I showed it to you. If not, you'll be surprised. But I'm gonna go make coffee, and then I will reveal the final book in this vlog, I've decided, because I'm gonna call this like 90s nostalgia, because most of these things are 90s. A couple of them have 2 different publication dates, but the publication date that is like the earliest is in the 90s. Some of them may have technically occurred in the 80s, but it's close enough, close enough. So we're gonna end with this final book. I'm gonna go make coffee though and be ready for the little surprise. Hint, the hint. All right, let's go make coffee, gremlins.
What's your story, Wishbone? What's this you're dreaming of? Such big imagination in such a little pod.
Did you guess it, gremlins? Did you? So for the final book, I will be reading Wishbone Super Mysteries, The Halloween Joker. So as a kid, I was obsessed with Wishbone. I had a bunch of the books, which I got from the Half Price bookstore for sure. I had some episodes on VHS. I had the movie they made where he's that cowboy, and I had a full-size Wishbone plush. Like, full-size. He was very cute. I would not get a Jack Russell now. My in-laws have Jack Russells, and no, I would never get a Jack Russell Terrier now. Not Wishbone's fault. He seemed like a delight and was adorable, and I was obsessed with him. But if you don't know what Wishbone is, Wishbone was a show on PBS where Wishbone, dog in question, would like have a story going on in the real world, and then also there was like a corresponding like book typically that he was acting out for you as one of the characters. So like my favorite one, and I happen to find it on YouTube, so I'm watching it before this video is over, was the episode based on The Hound of the Baskervilles, and in that Wishbone plays Sherlock Holmes, and while he's trying to solve the Hound of the Baskervilles, there is like a rogue dog in the real world neighborhood that is like causing damage, and people are blaming Wishbone even though Wishbone hasn't done anything. So they normally like corresponded. The ones that he acts out, like the books, are more memorable I think for most people than the, it's like the corresponding plot is what I'll say. It's not really the B plot, it was the corresponding plot because it was always connected to the book in some way. But he was like Robin Hood, he's been Odysseus, he was the Scarlet Pimpernel because of the nose. But I remember him being in a ton of different books, and I absolutely loved it. So I was so shocked to see this because I think I got this at my library. I think this was a library sale book. I just like saw it and I was like, what do you mean Wishbone has mystery books that I've never heard of? Because I knew like I had the books that were based on the episodes or like based on books. I don't know if they were all episode based, but I had never in my life heard of like outside mystery ones that didn't have a book as the inspiration. Now this could have one that I don't know about, but it doesn't mention one. So I will fill you in when I get there. There's also a black cat on the back of this, so I don't, will there be a cat? But yes, I'm very excited to read this kind of hefty book. It's I think the longest, yeah, the longest book that I've had in this vlog so far. So I'm going to slowly read this today. I don't really have time before work. Oh, there's a crow outside. I don't really have time before work. I'll probably read a little bit during lunch and then some this evening. It's not football day, so I probably won't be reading a ton. But this will be the last book of the video, and then I'll go over what prompts I filled. Now again, you can do Halloween-A-Thon however you want. I just do prompts because I don't have the ability to print a game board. I'm not gonna be able to, I can't really print anything is what I'm telling you. So I have to like make do on my own, which the printables are great. I do think they're very, very cool, and if I had the means to print them or like somewhere in town that I thought could print them well, I would consider it, but nowhere around here really does printing. So like I'm not gonna like try and take it somewhere and get like a subpar print job. Oh, there's music playing. I have to go. But yeah, so I'll just show you the prompts I chose and what these all fit. So I will talk to you later, gremlins, when I have read some of Wishbone the Halloween Joker, and I am going to watch some of the Slobbery Hound because I did in fact find it on YouTube yesterday, and I haven't watched it yet, but I'm gonna watch that later. Oh, it is trash day and everyone is noisy. I will talk to you later, gremlins. Bye for now. Hello, gremlins. It's very loud in my neighborhood today. It is the very end of my lunch break, but I wanted to fill you in because I'm about halfway through the Halloween Joker, and Wishbone, as always promoting literacy, is actually talking about Dracula in this one. Now, in it, we're not getting scenes of like Wishbone as Jonathan Harker, which I think is how that would work, but we're instead getting the like storyline as it progresses of Dracula intermixed with the plot of the Halloween Joker stuff that's going on. So in this, we're following Joe, Sam, and Wishbone. Also David, who is like their friend, but I'll get into that in a sec. So Sam won a contest where she could plan a Halloween party at this new sporting goods store, and it's because the sporting goods guy wants to like get in with the community and become like a key part of everything. So she won a contest, and so it's going to be Dracula's castle themed, which is very cool. But the issue is that there are some creepy things happening. So Sam gets a weird phone call where someone says they're going to trick her and like everyone involved with the party, and Joe gets scared by this cardboard skeleton that suddenly like falls from a tree while he's walking Wishbone, and like weird stuff is happening. And at a certain point they actually think it might be David who's involved, but because David is listed on the back, I'm just gonna preemptively say it's not going to be David because he's their friend. But the issue is David has all of the stuff that has tied into the pranks, like the recording of a laugh, some dry ice, so he does seem like a good suspect. but he insists he didn't do it, like his stuff was stolen, so we don't know who the Halloween Joker is. Now on top of that, Wishbone has his own plot going on, which he normally does in the books as well. Oh my gosh, my camera is dying. He normally does in the show as well. His, though, is saving the duck pond from chemicals that are being dumped in it by an evil exterminator. So we're following Wishbone, who's also involved in Sam and Joe's plot. But he is desperately trying to save his duck pond, but no one's listening to him because he's a dog. We can hear him talk. Everyone else can't hear him talk. So I'm having a great time. They're tying in Dracula in a really cool way, so that's super fun. But I gotta charge this. But yeah, so I'm gonna read more later today. I still want to watch the Hound of the Baskervilles episode on YouTube, but I might do that while I'm making dinner. So I will go. I'll talk to you later, Gremlins, when I have a charged battery. Hello, Gremlins. It is a little bit after work, and I have finished the Halloween Joker. This was so cute and like perfectly fall, and the mystery was actually pretty like tricky to solve. So I had already mentioned some of this, but we are getting differing points of view. So we get Sam and Joe, and then we also get Wishbone's thoughts. So his thoughts are on various things. He occasionally is like, are we gonna talk about food? Oh look, food. Ooh, snacks. So like very food motivated little dog, this Wishbone. So he has his own plot, like I said, where he's trying to figure out what's going on at the duck pond. And it doesn't, like, that plot doesn't tie into the larger plot. It's a lot like how in the versions where there's a book being done where Wishbone is in that story, his plot is like kind of connected, but not really. And in this, he's like running off to the duck pond, so he's just kind of doing his own thing, and then also trying to help them find the Joker. And it is taking forever for them to find this Halloween Joker because they get these creepy phone calls, and then like the clues aren't really like adding up because they're kind of making it seem like other people are doing it. And it just is like so fun to follow them because the clues do lead you to think it's certain characters, and then they're like, no, that doesn't seem right, or like, it has to be you, and then that person's like, no, it's not. So I thought the mystery was handled very well in this. The Halloween party is so aesthetic and cute and adorable, and there are illustrations of it, and they do a great job. It actually looks pretty creepy for like a kid's party, and there's a ton of Dracula stuff. The story does also, again, use the plot of Dracula, but like all the way to the end. Sam like connects events that are happening to them, or uses Dracula as inspiration or to help her get through a certain situation by being like, oh, this is like when this happened, or this is like when this happened, and she uses it to like get her through the story. So in this case, it's actually like Sam is part of the fictional work, and Joe and Wishbone are kind of in the like reality stuff instead of Wishbone being the one involved in the book. But I just really enjoyed this. This was so much fun. I truly had no idea this book existed. I was delighted, just delighted by all of this. And this is the final book. I did promise that we would go through the checklist, but I would highly recommend after this vlog just tracking down things that make you feel happy. Anything nostalgic, anything you remember liking as a kid, check it out, especially books. I would say novelizations of like shows or movies you liked as a kid are always a very fun like bonus thing. Also, the sun just decided to wildly come out. Okay. But yes, I highly enjoyed this. I also very much enjoyed having the slobbery hound on. I remembered that apparently so well that at one point something happened and I was like, oh, it's happening. And then Wishbone and I said the exact same thing at the exact same time. So that's proof that I watched that VHS tape 1,017 times. But yeah, so let's pause you for a sec. We're gonna bring you to the floor so I can go through my checklist. I just have like a blanket set out. It was easier to just like do it in here because then I can just like have everything in its proper place and put it back without having to lug it back and forth. So I will be right back, Gremlins, and we will close out the video with checking off what I've read and what prompts those achieved. All right, Gremlins, this is a little trickier than I expected, just because I am having an issue holding the camera, but I can say for a fact that we did Halloween-A-Thon, Tales from the Crypt, Bride of Frankenstein, let's see, Aliens Don't Wear Braces, which was Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Oddly, Beetlejuice Goes to a Shocker on Shock Street, because it had a bug on the cover. Firestarter is Dragons Don't Cook Pizza. Let's see, those I haven't gotten to yet. rotating over. My notebook wants to close, which is the problem. All right, let's try. All right, Fear Factor. Then Scooby-Doo is Bunnicula. The Great Pumpkin is, oh, I forgot to swap this. So this is actually The Attack of the Jack-O-Lanterns, The Great Pumpkin. I was going to read Aliens Don't Carve Jack-O-Lanterns, but I had to return it, so I have to edit that. Then Skeletons Don't Play Tuba for Jack Skellington. The Haunted Mask for The Ring. What else? Oh, You're In for a Scare is Who's Been Sleeping on My Bed. And then that is it. I do need to update Aliens Don't Carve Jack-O-Lanterns to be Attack of the Jack-O-Lanterns. But that is it, gremlins. Let me stop all of this for a moment and I will end the video by talking to you, like with my face visible. All right, gremlins, that was a whole lot of books, a whole lot of 90s. I do acknowledge that the Slappy World book is not 90s, but Slappy was created in the 90s and the story reads kind of 90s because there's no like updated technology or anything in it. So, you know, 90s adjacent. But everything else was 90s, if not late 80s. So yeah, that's the only like big outlier, but I don't think it really counts because the character is 90s still. But that is everything for this video. There were many, many books. The next one will be very different in that I have a library book I have to get back to the library that I do still have out for this challenge. And I have to read that first. So I'm not going to tell you what it is. You may have seen it. You saw all the books technically that I have picked out. But I do have one I very specifically have to read to get back to the library. So when I get to the next video, that will be first up. But yeah, lots of nostalgia. If there are any other nostalgic series you love, you would like me to read, or you just want to talk about because you think more people should know about them, let me know in the comments. I had a very fun kickoff to Halloween-A-Thon. I don't even know when I'm posting this. It'll probably be a little ways into Halloween-A-Thon by the time I do. But I'm very excited Halloween-A-Thon is here. And yeah, I'm just gonna be having fun doing random Halloween-A-Thon stuff. I may take a break to do like a random video that's unrelated, in that the books will be a little odd and I'm not gonna make them fit prompts. But yeah, I think that's everything. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of me, please subscribe. Also on Instagram, CliffGoEverAfter. See you in the next one, gremlins. Bye.